Not long ago, there was a big scare about lead in toys from China. It was one of the scares of the year, so Congress passed a law to protect us. Government regulators are always ready to protect us, and especially when they're going to protect the children.
Another recall of Chinese-made toys.
So government regulators wrote a law.
There are toys being sold in our stores now that are untested and are unsafe.
The new regulations require that all toys be tested for lead. Small toy producers said, we can't afford that.
The really large companies they'll be fine, but people on a small scale will be out of business.
And because the law applies to all toys, even used ones, it means thrift stores and the Salvation Army have had to throw all these good toys out rather than give them to needy children.
It's unfortunate for the children that parents can't always afford to buy brand new toys, that we have to dispose of these toys.
Goodwill and the Salvation Army say they had to dump also more than $100 million worth of secondhand children's clothing, like jackets like this one with, it's got a zipper. Now, there's probably some lead in the zipper, but so what? Scientists told us that kids could suck on this till the cows come home and they wouldn't ingest enough to hurt the child. But that doesn't matter. It has to go. So you can keep that. So does this thing. I'm told it's called a onesie. It's got these snaps. The snaps might contain lead. No real threat to a child, but out it goes too. $100 million worth. Goodwill posted this notice listing they no longer will accept: strollers, car seats, cribs, baby beds, and so on. They'll now all be junked. What a waste. So for thrift stores and those of you who used to get cheap stuff from them, tough. For small toy makers, tougher. You may be out of business. But for big toy makers, the new testing's no big deal. Some already had their own testing laboratories, so the law that crushes a newcomer is no big threat to the big guys. And joining us now is Ann Northrup, one of 5 commissioners on the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the agency that's supposed to police toy safety. Now, Ann, I assume that this lead law was well intended. They're protecting the kids.
Well, certainly. I mean, the Consumer Product Safety Commission has to implement the law as it was passed. But it's not just the cost of re-engineering the product to make a product now that doesn't have the lead in it. It's that every single component has to be tested. Those labs have to be certified by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So now there's a big lab industry expansion. And every single product has to carry a certification based on those third-party tests.
This appears to have no metal. It's wood. This exempt?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not, John. See these cute little people in the back here? See that little bit of white paint and black paint? Each one of those are different components. Does it look like maybe it's glued together? That glue would have to be tested. And then I think that there is a coating on here, a varnish of some kind. That would be another test. Every one of those would be considered a separate component. And I don't know, does this look like it was dyed? Oh, yes, I think that would have to have another test. So this costs
thousands of dollars.
All of those.
I've got this stick horse. This appears to be all cotton. I assume I'm okay with this. I can give it to the thrift store.
Well, we would have to make sure this is all cotton, but this doesn't look like this is all cotton, so that would have to be tested as a separate component. This fringe here that's so cute, anything that makes a toy cute often is something that's not pure cotton. So that would have to be tested. And do you see this cute little button here? That not only would have to be tested, I found the cuter they are, the less likely they are to be lead-free. Even though a child could suck on that and not get any lead out of it, it doesn't leach out, doesn't consume enough to change their blood level.
When they pass these laws, and why don't you people go say this is ridiculous?
Well, actually, the commission is sending up a report to Congress, but you know what you hear all the time is, well, the big companies aren't complaining about it, and in truth, the outpouring of tears and anguish over this are coming from the small toy manufacturers. There are all sorts of people that are crafters. They go to craft fairs and sell their product. They're the cute things that maybe a grandmother might want to buy a specialty toy. Those will all be far too expensive to test. And so those are the choices will be far less plentiful.
And you came out with this handbook for resale stores, and this, I'm told here, includes garage sales. I mean, what happened to freedom?
Well, the law said that it was retroactive, and so even if something were safe to buy last year and has never been recalled because it's not safe, it's still, because it hasn't been, what was safe last year is not safe this year, you realize.
Well, you give me good advice. I'm holding a garage sale. It says you may want to hire a qualified, trained person in your area who can quickly screen all your products with a handheld device called an X-ray fluorescence machine. Okay, solves the problem?
Well, to the credit of the CPSC, the Consumer Safety Commission, we're not sending our investigators out to your garage sale.
And I should mention this little X-ray machine cost $30,000.
$30,000.
And Goodwill says it kept breaking down, all from a scare based on no children dying from children clothing, from kids' clothing.
All of us want true lead threats to be withdrawn.
Lead paint.
Lead paint. Lead is in our soil. Lead is in our.
Absurd.
But this is.